Hey guys and welcome, it's me Titan Gaming here, and first of all I just want to say Merry Christmas to everyone watching this video. I hope you've all had a fantastic day so far, because I know I have. It's been brilliant. So, welcome to my first video of this brand new series, which I'm going to be calling Budget Builds for PC, where we'll be looking at computer builds for PCs in the range from £150 to £700 and listing all the pros and cons of them individual PC builds, and how you can adapt them, which will obviously increase the price, decrease the price, etc. to your own desire. So this is going to be episode 1, and what a better day to have it on than Christmas. So in this video we'll be looking at a build for £350, so without further ado let's get into the video. Okay, so firstly we've got the processor, of which I have decided to go for the Pentium G3258. And I chose this, which is the highest end of the Pentium series, as opposed to the lowest end of the Core i3, mainly because, well, for one thing, it's half the price of the Core i3, and it fits completely different motherboards and everything. It works with the DDR3 RAM inside those motherboards, and overall it works with cheaper motherboards, and obviously DDR3 RAM is a lot cheaper than DDR4 RAM, so going with this obviously really reduces the price, and the quality of it isn't terrible in comparison. I mean, obviously if you look here, it's not as good as the Core i3, but what you expect, I mean, it is half the price. So that's first of all the processor. Then we're going to be moving into the graphics card, also known as the GPU. So, I had the choice here between the RX 460 by AMD or the GTX 1050 by Nvidia. So, the choice that I've gone for out of the two of these is the GTX 1050. And that is because it is, again, cheaper than the Radeon RX 460. But also, it is, after looking and comparing the specs between the two of them, it is a better GPU. But I don't really understand people's logic here if they choose to go for the AMD, because unless they were going for a particular AMD build, because it's cheaper, it's better, so, and yeah, it's just overall a better GPU. Now, you can tell that it has a higher market share here, but that doesn't really matter too much, especially as it's been out a lot longer than the GX 1050, and it even says here that it's much better value for your money. So, yeah, why not get the GTX 1050? Okay, so next we are moving on to the motherboard. So the motherboard that I have decided to go for is the MSI Intel H81M E33. So it's a very, very cheap motherboard, and it's got everything that you're gonna need for this build. It's got the right there is the right port thing or the right socket for the processor, the 2x DDR3 RAM, which we're going to be getting into in a little bit. It's got plenty of USB ports, probably more than you're actually going to need at any point, and it's a nice little nifty motherboard. So next, moving on to the RAM, I've decided to go for 4 sticks of Vengeance Corsair RAM DDR3, 1600 megahertz, and I've decided to go for this because it's one of the cheaper versions that you can get for this type of RAM. It's 8 gigabytes of RAM, which I can imagine that if people are getting this, this will be their first PC, and that is enough for them to be starting off with. You don't need any more, especially for this build. So overall, I think this is actually, I believe, the one that I might have at the moment, I think. So I definitely recommend this myself. Next I'm going to the HDD, of which we have the Western Digital Blue 1 TB hard drive. It's got 1 TB, which is all you're going to need to start off with. I know this for a fact that this is a really reliable hard disk drive. It's the one that I use, and yeah, there's nothing else to really say about it. It's a hard drive really. Power supply, Evga, obvious, really well known brand, 430 watts, £52. Nothing really else to say about it. Yeah, that's just, you get what you give them really. And finally, we have got the case, of which I have gone with the GameMax Explorer Gaming PC case with a side window. So it looks really slick overall. It's the right size. I mean, you struggle to not get the right size with a Micro ATX motherboard. And yeah, it overall just looks really good, and it's a really cheap price once again. So if you round all of these products up, it comes to £352, but obviously with them normally it comes to around £350. So yeah, overall I would definitely recommend this build to anyone who's new and starting out. The only problem is that you are one under the next generation. So say you wanted to go up from this Intel Pentium motherboard, processor, you'd have to say the next one up from that is the Core i3, which then means that you'd have to go to a different motherboard due to the different sockets, which I believe it says on here. There we go, it's got the LGA 151 instead of the 1150. So they're completely different. You'd have to get a different motherboard, so you'd have to upgrade that. And most of them motherboards come with DDR4 RAM, which then of course costs more than the DDR3 RAM, etc. And you just have to upgrade everything. So that's definitely one of the cons. But equally, the pros of this is that you can go really far and do really well with this overall setup. So personally, I think this is really good for people who are starting off, maybe building their first PC or something. I think this is really good. So anyway, leave a like if you enjoy, and I will see you in the next video.